Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to basically see three ways to square time and price. So there are basically three type of squaring of time and price. One is squaring the range. So he has given the details over here. One is squaring the range. Second is squaring the bottoms. And third is squaring the top or the high prices. And this comes on chapter number 6, squaring the price of grains with time. The page number is page 149 of WD Gann Master Commodities Course. We also kept the chart on the right hand side so that we can see the theory part as well as the charts together, and we'll try to implement the same things on Nifty also. So let's go ahead with that. I'll just try to read the theory part so that we can understand it in a better way. This is one of the most important and valuable discoveries that I have ever made, and if you stick strictly to the rule and always watch grain where price is squared by time, or when time and price come together, you will be able to forecast the important changes in trend with great accuracy. The squaring of price with time means an equal number of points up or down, balancing an equal number of time periods, either days, weeks, or months. For example, if an option has advanced 24 points in 24 days, then moving the 45-degree angle or moving average line up at the rate of 1 point per day, the timing line or time period and the price of the option are at the same level, and the option is resting on a 45-degree angle, and you should watch for an important change in trend at this point. If an option is to continue uptrend and remain in a strong position, it must continue to advance and keep above the angle of 45 degree. If it breaks back under this angle, then it is out of the square on the bear side of the 45-degree angle and in a weaker position. When you are squaring of time on a daily chart, look at the weekly high and low chart and monthly high and low chart and see if the option is in a stronger position and has yet to run out the time periods, because on a daily chart it has to react and then recover a position squaring its price many times as long as the weekly and monthly point up. Market corrections or reactions are simply the squaring out of minor time periods, and later the time decline or price advance are the squaring out of major time periods. So there are basically three type of squaring of time and price. One is squaring the range. So he has given the details over here. One is squaring the range. Second is squaring the bottoms. And third is squaring the top or the high prices. So it's again in the same way that we are able to see. One is squaring the range. Second is squaring the bottom price. And third is squaring the top price. So what we'll do is we'll try to understand that on the basis of a chart. Let's say, for example, this is a totally fresh chart of Nifty that we are going to consider. Let's say these are the old dates from 1995, 1996. And we have this bottom. So we start with this bottom maybe. I'll do one thing. Just to have this bottom, I'll mark this with a line. Probably just try to highlight that. Fine. So we would be starting with this. We'll try to find what is the low, because as it has been said over here, squaring time with bottom. So the next important price to square with time is the lowest price or bottom of any important decline. Right? And then he has given examples that, okay, for this much number of points. For example, if a bottom of an option is 75, so whatever is the price for that much number of days or weeks or months, the price should meet time accordingly. So we'll try to do the same thing. We'll go on the lowest price over here. I'll probably put this line just besides it so that we can know, yes, this is where it starts from. We know the low. The low is 775.43. Where do we get the low from? So the prices of low and high have been given over here. So whatever is the low. See, what we say is this was the low, this was the low, again this was the low. So this is the major low that we get. So we'll try to test across on this point. And the low over here is 775.43. 775.43. So we'll do one thing. We'll try to find out the number of days, weeks, and months accordingly from this low. I'll again put down the line over here only. So the low is 775.43. On the left hand side, we have some tools, and on those tools, we have a date range. So let's say I start somewhere around from this point. If we go for 775 bars, probably we are getting a high over here. So let me just mark it. Now this is the actual high, but we are getting somewhere around nearer to that part. We have taken a number of bars over here. So let's try to take the trading days also. Trading days is 775. This is what we are getting as. Let me mark this also. So 775 days, we are getting probably a high over here or maybe just nearer to that part. And 775 bars, if you are considering bars, because there are two types of days. One is the calendar days and second is the trading days. So if we have considered trading days, so on trading days, we are getting 775 trading days. So we are just getting nearer to a high. And second is we have 775 or 776 calendar days. We are just getting accordingly again a nearer high, but this is not a major or a minor high as such specifically. But we have marked it over here. So this is number of days that we are considering. Now what we'll do is probably try to get the high of this candle, which is 805. This is 806. In a similar way, we'll try to see 806 trading days. So this is there. Now we have both the low and high of the candle. And we have seen that probably this is coming somewhere around nearer to a range. This is also coming nearer to a range. If we consider this, probably this is just nearer to the high. And if we consider this, this is probably again nearer to this high. This is for number of calendar days. And for number of trading days, probably this is the low date, which is 775 trading days, and this is 806 trading days. So probably this is just coming nearer to the high, which is as per the details which have been given. So we considered from the bottom. Let's try to do one more thing is we'll go for the number of weeks also accordingly. So from days, we go to number of weeks. So this is the chart. We'll again do the same thing. Low is 775. So we'll consider 775 weeks. So we have a weekly chart over here. We are again going to start from here. Start point is the same. We'll go for 775 weeks. So for number of weeks that we get over here, which is 775. So here is where we are getting it approximately. Now, if we try to go for from the high of that specific candle, so we are not talking about anything else. So the weekly candle probably it changes. So the high is 834. So we can go for 834, 835 weeks accordingly. That is, we need to consider the bars. Let's try doing that also. 835. So we'll try to consider 835. This is 835. Let's try to find what exactly we are getting. So 830, 775 is somewhere around just nearer to this low. And if we consider 835, this is again somewhere around nearby. So probably we know that, okay, this is the bottom. This is just nearer to a high or something like that. Let's try to consider 775 number of months also accordingly. So we'll go for a monthly candle. And from this monthly candle, again, we need to go from this bottom. So bottom is 775. Let's try to find that. From here onwards, 775 months. So current month is coming to 336. And probably we need to go very long time frame. So this is where 775 will be coming on to, and we won't be able to get the exact date over here, but we'll try to get it on the date calculator. So if we are looking for 775 months, we probably can go on a calculator, date calculator, and on date calculator from 4th of December 1996. If we see across, we get somewhere around 775 months, which is after 64 years, 7 months, and the date is coming to 4th of July 2061. So that is a hell lot of a time that we have to wait for just to squaring in terms of number of months. And why we are considering number of months is because Gann has given that whatever is the low accordingly, we have to check for the number of days, number of weeks, and number of months also. So 775 months we have considered from the low, which is 4th of December 1996. And probably we have to wait for a longer time frame over here. So this is too long as such. So let's say after this, we had a major high. Let's consider from a major high also. So if you see after this low, probably this was one of the major highs that we are getting. This was also a major high. So let's try to do some things or calculations probably from this high. So the high is 1818. We need to consider that much number of days from this point. Now, if we consider from this point, and if we go for number of calendar days, we are getting 1118. And probably this is just nearer to this one major high that we are getting. Let's look for 1818 number of trading days also. So what we'll try to understand from that also, maybe probably we'll be getting something else. So here we have considered 1818 is number of trading days also. This is 1818 calendar days. So we are here is what we are getting, and this is 1818 trading days that we are getting. So number of calendar days is this date, which is 16th of February 2005, and 1818 number of trading days here is what we are getting accordingly. So this is probably just nearer to a high that we are getting, and probably this is also, I mean, this is a major high. Of course, we should be getting a date which is nearer to that part, but fair enough, nothing like it. Let's try to find out the number of weeks also accordingly over here. Now, if you go on the weekly chart and try to see how many number of weeks that we get, which is 1818 bars on the weekly chart, we get a date somewhere around December 2034. So that's still a long way to go. So we cannot be probably just waiting for those days. So we saw by the bottom, we saw by top. Now let's go by one more method, which is by the range. Let's try to adopt and see what exactly we are able to get through a range also. Now here we have got a bottom which was there of 4th of December 1996, right? So the same date that we got over here. Now what we are doing is from this bottom, after that, whatever high we have got, we have considered that because we see a small reversal over there. What we have considered is from this bottom to the high, which is there on 16th of January 1997. We have considered this as a range. And in this range, we are getting somewhere around 310 points. Now what we'll do is from this bottom, we'll try to consider 310
calendar days as well as 310 trading days. And similarly, from this top also, we'll try to consider 310 calendar days and 310 trading days, both of them. So let's look over here from this bottom. If we look for 310 trading days, which are there. So this is 310 trading days and we get a high over here. So this high is just nearer to the high that we get across over here. That is an important thing. So from this low, if we look for number of calendar days, we see, first of all, calendar days is coming to somewhere around this point, which is just nearer to this part. So this is almost like a high that we get, and this is where it has been mentioned as days, 310 days. If we consider for 310 trading days, so this is 310 bars which are there, and we are getting somewhere around in this range, and from this range again we are getting a high. So not exactly a low, but yes, somewhere around midway from where we are getting a top side also. So that is from this bottom. Same way what we'll do is we had a high, and from this high accordingly we'll look for 310 trading days as well as calendar days. So looking at this point, we have first of all 310 trading days and we get a bottom over here. So this is a bottom for 310 calendar days, and if we look for 310 trading days from here, so this is 310 trading days, so we are getting this almost at this top. So we are getting this almost at this top. So we are getting a top over here, we are getting a bottom over here. Similarly, from this bottom, if we consider 310 trading days, we are again getting somewhere around a range, and over here this was the top. And if you only look for from this bottoms 310 calendar days, so we are almost getting a top over here. Now again, in a similar way, if you want to go for, let's say, 310, so we can consider 310 as for week. So maybe from this bottom we can consider for 310 weeks. Now, if I consider maybe from this point onwards till this point, we are getting 310 bars or 310 weeks over there. And similarly, if you want, maybe probably from this high again, we can go for 310 weeks. Maybe I'll consider from here. And consider 310 bars from this high. And again, we are getting a major high over here. So here we are getting a low, here we are getting a major high. So this point there was a low, and this point we are getting a high, and again we can see the results which can be seen in terms of weeklies again on the basis of range also. So this is something which we have to work out, and maybe probably we'll be able to get similar kind of results. So this is how we would be able to do the calculations. The calculations are based on three ways to square time and price. And as per Gann, this was an important discovery from this side, that we are considering squaring of range. That is the first thing. We can consider squaring of time with bottom. That is the second point. And we can also see squaring time with top. So whenever there is an extreme high price, we can square from them. Same way, we can square from an extreme bottom price, and in the third way we are able to square with a range also. So naturally all these things we can implement on various highs and lows. So So probably it's not necessary that we'll be getting exactly an high and exactly low. But yes, we are getting somewhere around almost nearer to those points. Let's say, for example, this was almost to this high. So something which is critical and again important for us. Of course, there are other methods also by which you would be able to get some accurate highs and lows. But those methods again required a huge amount of accuracy, and you need to work out on different things over there. Probably we'll try to put them together and again present it in front of you. Till that time, thank you so much. Bye. Take care.